Good afternoon, Chef Miko. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm okay. Busy. We just opened for lunch,
Wow.
reopened again for lunch. Yeah. And
Wow.
then dinner tonight. So
Yeah.
hopeful.
And welcome to those people watching on the live stream or watching in the replay. Most people watch on the replay. We're talking to Chef Miko Calo of Metronome. And we'll be talking about her restaurant and the industry
Mhm.
and what's happening in the next few months. All right. Thank you. And we're here talking to and thank you for All right, Chef Miko. I'm sure a lot of
Hi.
people know you, but
Mm,
maybe you can give a quick introduction of Metronome and how did you come? How did you go to Manila via
okay.
Metronome? Yeah.
Okay. So I'm MIKO CALO. I've been cooking for about maybe 15 years now. And I actually started here. I worked at the Hyatt Hotel and Restaurant, Hotel and Casino, and then for about 2 years, and then I went to Paris to do my further studies, and then did my stage with Jules Robuchon, and then after that, I stayed on. I got a job with Jules Robuchon. I started in Paris and then I moved to London, still with Joel Robuchon. And then I moved to Singapore to open L'Atelier de Joel Robuchon in Singapore. And I stayed there for about 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. But in total, I was with Joel Robuchon for about 7 years. And then I came home a few years ago. I did a little bit of some pop-ups. I did some private dinners, and then I met um, some of my business partners today. And yeah, it was kind of like a chance meeting. I was really thinking about opening a restaurant. This concept, I already had the name Metronome. Already had the look of the restaurant, but I needed to be with the right business partners who would understand what I wanted to do. And thankfully, I found them. So here we are.
All right,
Yeah.
and it's actually
Mm.
one of the best restaurants in Manila. And
Thank you.
now,
Thank you for that.
wait lang
Mm-hmm.
gumagalaw yung camera pag
Okay.
pag I think nasa table mo, no? Tama ba?
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Nagmo-move.
There. Okay,
Baka
good.
mahilo yung mga nanonood.
Okay. Okay, cool.
uh,
Hmm.
so, and how's the Manila dining scene? I know you've been to all around the
Hmm.
world to Singapore,
Yeah.
and I know it was brave enough to open here in Manila. And what
Mm-hmm.
was your first impression or your learning before the pandemic about the Manila dining scene?
Um, it's a very young dining scene. It's exciting because a lot of our diners are so receptive and are so willing to explore. Of course, there's a lot there. The expectation is greater, especially if you're Filipino and that you've done other things outside of the Philippines and you want to come and you're coming back here to do something here. Expectation is very high, and um, it challenged me because yeah, I needed to kind of balance what the popular what the popular opinion is and what the popular kind of food movement is with what I want to do, which is a little bit more on the classic side. Yeah, and but all in all, I think the dining public is it's exciting because everyone's very receptive to try new things. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Before we talk
Yeah.
about the opening today of Metronome,
Mm-hmm.
can you
Yeah.
give us a context of what happened during the pandemic, during the lockdown, and how did you
Oh,
try to?
okay. Yeah. So during the lockdown, we were in the middle of like we had just gotten off of the busyness of Valentine's, of the holidays and the post-holiday get-togethers. So it was pretty busy, and we were. It was exciting. It was an exciting time for us because we could see that we were kind of gaining a little bit of traction already, and we also had just received like the Philippine Tatler's best new restaurant at that point. And then yeah, so March there was a lockdown and everything stopped. And after that, our priority was really kind of making sure that our staff would be taken care of. And after a month hiatus, because we couldn't really do anything, during that time, I kind of thought about doing, of course, like takeaway and all that. And we knew from the start, and I knew from the start that Metronome food would not be good as takeaway because it really won't travel well, and you can't do. It's also hard to eat Metronome food without the experience of service and everything.
Mhm.
So we decided to um, make a new brand. Actually,
Ah,
we
talaga?
we yeah. So that's why we did Lazy F. It's called Lazy F by Metronome. So it's a takeaway brand that we started um, after, I think it's called, when we were at MECQ or something like that, when we were allowed to operate for one of the queues. So I'm not sure anymore. But so we decided to um, create a completely new brand for our takeaway, and we started with doing pre-cooked food in aluminum containers ready to heat. So
Mm,
it was kind of like a bistro type of fare. We had beef bourguignon and all that. So it's more kind of a classic French bistro. I was doing potato gratin and stuff like that. That would be pre-prepared, and then once you get it in your house, you just pop it in the oven or heat it up in a pot, and you can eat it. And this one, when we started, it was really to kind of provide allowance for our staff. So it supported our
sustainability.
staff. Yeah, it supported our staff. We were able to give allowance every 15 days to all our staff.
That's
So
good.
when we started, it was kind of like all the proceeds which was going to
Mhm.
support our staff. And then we opened again, and then we opened again, and there was a liquor ban in Makati, and then it was closed again. So during this point, we saw a potential in the brand, the takeaway brand. So I decided to pivot the brand and really make it into, like, to make create a menu that was more approachable,
Mhm.
and it was more like a quick service, like you don't
But
need to
still
heat it
classic
up.
French, I guess.
No, it's a little bit more approachable in a way where I started doing burgers. So I have a
Oh,
French onion burger that you can put foie gras
nice.
on. I have truffle brie burger. I have like a duck confit sandwich. I have a pork confit sandwich, and I
Ah,
have like truffle mac and cheese and mac and four cheese and all these things, which is a little bit more. It's comfort food in a
uh-huh.
way. The brand is called Lazy Earth, so it's like, it's a if you're too lazy to really think about your what you want to eat because you're working from home and you've been doing a lot, and you've been worrying about all these things, all you need to do is order from us and get good quality
Really
food.
good food.
Yeah, without even making an effort, just order, and then it will be sent to you, right? So it's more of that for the it's for the lazy eaters, when you're like, I want to eat something good, but I don't really want to think about it. So
Uh-huh.
you just go through and that. So it's more of that kind of food. Yeah.
All right. Before we continue, we'll say hi lang to those commenting. No, so Lisa
Mm,
Sanchez, hello.
mm.
Michi Kalika Soto, our friend.
Hi.
And Jill, I'm not sure if you know Jill. Hi, Miko. Jeff,
Hi.
Anna's sister. All right. Now, let's go to the dining scene because I think a lot of
Mm,
Filipinos or the Manila wants to go back to the dining scene. And
mm,
what was your experience? And just reopening today, um, do you think that the fine dining format will have a higher
mm,
chance to survive because of the safety measures, or what? How does a restaurant in this new normal would look like
mm.
here in Manila?
Well, for us, what we did was really kind of invest on in um, better steps in kind of like making sure that everything is clean, the surroundings is clean. So we actually, when we reopened, we invested on an air purification system, which constantly breaks down the ions in the air. I'm not the, I don't know how to really explain
That's
it
nice. Yeah, that's
very
nice to
well.
know. Yeah.
Albert, one of our one of my business partners, is the one who actually decided to invest on that, because it's
That's good.
something that's
Pasado kay
yeah,
Elbert. Okay
yeah,
yan.
yeah. Yeah, and also our exhaust system, so to make sure that there's no stale air inside the restaurant all the time, to also make us, the staff, feel safe as well, because
Oo. Okay. Yeah.
there's also that aspect, right? um at this point, what we're thinking about is kind of like just surviving,
Okay.
to make sure that we are still here, and our clientele still feels the same level of service, the same level of attention to detail that we do, um, to make sure that there's still a bit of a sense of normalcy when they come in the restaurant,
Mhm.
even with the extra precautions that we have. So what we did was really, of course, take out tables, make sure that groups are smaller, and we don't, there are about 4 or 5 tables that have been taken out of the dining area, just so that
So what's
it's
the
not.
capacity now? What's the capacity now?
We are at the 50% capacity, which will be about 32
30.
seats. But what we do is we make sure that it's not also full in one go, since we're also doing mostly reservations.
Yes.
Of course, we welcome walk-ins, but it will also depend on how full we are in one seating.
Mhm.
So when it comes to reservations, our reservations manager makes sure that not everyone comes in at the same time. So there's a little bit more of breathing room, so to speak, for everyone.
So
And
the
we've
booth
also,
tables, so the booth
yeah,
tables can sit
yeah.
two or four. You allow two or
We only do until 3.
three? Okay.
Yeah, because the booth table is usually for 5 people.
Okay.
So now we only do until 3, if they're okay with it. But if they're not okay with it, then we only just do 2.
To
And we
two.
always do, like, since there are 3 booths, we always have one empty. We don't book all the time. I mean, all 3 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of kind of like playing Tetris in a way, just to make sure that it's not, people are not saturated in one area all the time.
But the
And we
private dining room is open, no? What's the
Yes,
capacity?
private dining room is also open, but we only do until 8 people.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And then we also decided to open for lunch. So before the pandemic, we opened only for dinner. So now we
Yeah.
also open for lunch, and it's also a completely different menu. So our lunch is a bistro lunch. So it's a lot of it is like a classic bistro fare.
Mhm.
Um, it's a faster service because it's
Mm-mm.
bistro food. Of
Oo.
course, you still have the potato puree that we do,
Of course.
um, and then we do like beef bourguignon. We have steak frites. We have duck confit, but it's more of the classic side. And then
Okay.
we do um, like a menu prefix. So it's
Mhm.
like a formula of you have a soup or a salad, and then a main, and then your dessert for a certain amount and all that. And it's all quick service as well.
Oo. So
Yeah.
parang how they really do it also, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wait,
Like a
we'll say
lunch
hi na
formula.
to
Yeah.
hi
Hi,
to Tina
Tina.
and
See you again here.
Belle. Belle is a Chinese friend based in Coron. So he wants to say hi. So Miko,
Mhm.
paano yung how's the dining now? Are Filipinos going out? Are reserving for this bird season? And what do you think is still the main hurdle for people going out? Of course, there's the virus still out there, but I
Mhm.
believe kasi the restaurant itself is really quite safe. Eh.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do you think is happening in Manila?
I think a lot of people, especially the Filipinos, are still quite scared of going out. And it's something that to each his own. You can't naman like try to force people to come out and be like, oh, come na or whatever. It's always a choice on how you kind of want to deal with the pandemic. Um, right now, we're getting reservations slowly because we had just opened today. Um, what we're trying to do is just making sure that our space is safe, so that when people come, there's a sense of safety and sense of still of familiarity, sense of welcome still. Um, and we follow all protocols, even the liquor protocol of Makati. But right now, I really can't. For me, I feel like a lot of Filipinos also are very careful because a lot of us live with family. We have parents, grandparents who live with us. So I think we're more careful of like going out, and it's very understandable. Um, but there are pockets of people who are so to speak brave enough to go out. So I don't know. It's hard to say as well. It's for us.
What is
It's
it?
like
It's
we're
for
just
celebration ba? More for a celebration thing
well. The
or
thing is, that's a thing.
business?
Albert had just we were just talking about this. It's a lot of Filipinos. Our um, culture of eating out is really for occasions. If
Correct.
you
Yeah.
have guests, or if there's a birthday or a graduation, something to celebrate, anniversary, we're the type who will do that. I mean, who will eat out for that. But on a normal day, we eat at home because we have family who will cook, or we have helpers who will cook for us. We have our lolos and lolas, or so our culture of dining out is more for, you're right, celebration and kind of like special occasions. Maybe seeing friends, a special barcada dinner or something, things like that. It's not like most of Europe, who like most Europeans, what they do is really they eat out. They hardly eating
Yeah.
out is a it's a eating out is a normal everyday thing. for for
Mm-mm.
for them. So it's a different kind of dining scene here. I think that's also why there's a lot more expectation, because a lot of it is special occasions. You're celebrating something. But right now, I mean, I really can't. Uh, I'm still trying to understand as well what the new pulse of the dining scene is. Really, everything is kind of like a blur right now. We're just trying to keep it together, just so that we will survive the pandemic and we'll still be able to provide jobs for our people, and still be able to provide food, good food, good service for everyone.
Yeah. How about will you continue the takeout as a really ongoing service? And I
Yeah.
know we have a not ideal
Mm.
logistics or
Yeah.
infrastructure
Yeah.
for takeout.
Yeah.
What do you think about that whole takeout system here?
Um. Yeah. We are still doing takeaway service. We're still it's like right now it's a support for our business as well. Um. But knowing what we know about our takeaway kind of infrastructure now, we made sure that when we did testing of our sandwiches or anything that we serve takeaway, we do a test travel. So
Mm, that's good.
everything is specifically designed, even the way it's packaged. It's specifically designed for takeaway. So like even our burgers, it's wrapped in foil so that when it gets to you, it's still a bit warm and melty and things like that. So that what we did was what I made sure that when I bring something, when I make something new, I do a travel test to make sure that it's still good. It's still good quality. It's not gonna be as perfect as when you eat it in the restaurant straight from the kitchen, but it's as a takeaway, it's still gonna be a good experience.
Do you think
Mm-hmm.
you'll get affected because there's a lot of home based also right now that does
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
European cuisine and
Yeah, yeah,
their cloud kitchen also. Do you think
yeah.
that increased competition would really affect restaurants like you guys?
Um, well, I'm not sure if it really does or if it really will. I mean, I feel like so long as you have a good product, people will come back for it. Um, it's also good for the consumers that there are a lot of choices out there, so that the ones who are making it are trying to make their products better and better, which will just be better for consumers as well. Um, what we've noticed is when everything was starting to open up again, our takeaway business kind of did a little bit of it kind of died down a little because
Mm.
other places were open. But I'm not sure about like home businesses and home cooks and how the competition is like, because I'm not
It would
sure.
be
I haven't seen any. I haven't. I can't say. I can't have an opinion on that because I haven't really studied, sales reports and all that for
different.
the whole thing. But because when we started, the thing is, when we started our takeaway, that was a time when everybody started their home
Their own
businesses as well. So I don't
with some
know. There's no basis of comparison for me.
comparison.
Yeah, yeah.
So Miko,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
asking also na how
Mm-hmm.
does the chef survive in the pandemic? Meaning, what did you do? Did you enjoy other food during the lockdown? Did you cook your own food? Meron ka bang bagong discovery during hold this quarantine. How did you
Uh-huh.
cope up with the madness?
Yeah, well, for the first maybe 2 weeks, it was almost like a welcome reprieve because we were slammed for maybe about five
Yeah,
months of.
yeah. Fully book
But
kayo
of course,
palagi.
yeah, but of course, I mean, there was still that anxiety. Um, I, for some reason, when everybody else started making chocolate chip cookies and sourdough and all that, I really was not doing anything. I was really like, I was
Chill.
ordering takeout. I was ordering burgers from Sweet Ecstasy, things like that. I would order like food from Goto Tendon and things like that, you know. So
Or,
I would order food from Goto Monster and Manam, and it was just like comfort food, And if I do cook, it was like stir fries and fried rice with spam, and it was all that. It was kind of like no brainer food for me. And a lot of I've discovered that a lot of my friends actually, you know, make really good bread. So, and they started like I have a neighbor who would make her own sourdough bread, and she would send me like half of the loaf, and things like that. And then my cousin, it's actually like a lot of my friends who were not cooked were the ones who were cooking. Like my cousin was making pies,
baliktad,
and
no?
yeah, yeah. I was just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna lie down and enjoy everyone else's creation.
Yeah.
Actually,
But
I
but
enjoyed
what?
that. I enjoyed that part. But
Yeah.
like surviving, I think um, the fact that I started another brand for takeaway kind of kept my sanity
Okay.
because I got busy again. I was in the kitchen. I was cooking again. So I was preoccupied, and of course there are worries, but the preoccupation kind of like makes you look forward and think ahead and kind of like create solutions for whatever situation you're in. That
Yeah.
was how I kind of coped with it. I got busy. I needed to work again. So I was quite
That's good.
grateful when the partners and I decided to just do takeaway so that we can support staff. And of course I was kind of scared because like I had to go to work. I
Oh,
had to
yeah.
get exposed to people. But like once you're used to the protocols in place, and like I am super hyper aware. Like even the money that I touch, I have to disinfect. You know,
Mm-mm. Everything.
like everything. It's more hyper aware now than ever before.
Never before.
Mhm.
What do you think of the pinatulan mo ba yung mga sushi bake, the ube trend, fat? And what do you think of all
Yeah.
these, things?
I think I mean it's healthy. For me, it's like it's good for the consumer because you have so many things that you can actually try and eat and enjoy. Um, and enjoy it at your own luxury because you don't have to go and get it because people are starting to just deliver. Um, I've I've tried the ube pandesal. I had a friend send me like an ube filled palitaw that she made, which is I enjoyed as well. I haven't tried the sushi bake yet. But the ube pandesal, I can probably finish two of those wildflower ube cheese
Uh,
pandesals.
Sadisal,
Yeah, in one seat, like warm it up. I'll eat it in one seating, like two of those huge ones. I quite enjoy the one from Wildflower. I actually texted Alan, their chef, and said, "What's in this ubi pandesal because it's addicting." Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's fun because you see now that um, we have more choices. We have more things to discover.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to the as you open your restaurant today, going into the bear season,
Mhm.
what are your plans or strategies to get over this bear season here in Manila?
Um, well, what we're our plan is to right now it's just for me making new things in the menu. I have new items in our menu, and I'm looking at the seasonal the seasonal items that can be
Ingredients.
available to us. Yeah, the seasonal ingredients that can be available to us from France or and locally as well. So like the last when before we closed again, I was the Benguet strawberries were in season, so I put
Yeah.
that in the menu. We had ifugao tomato, so I put that in the menu. And right now, I the it's sep mushroom season and black autumn truffle season. So
Yeah.
gonna try to bring that in, and I'm planning a truffle menu like we did last year. We did like an all truffle menu, different things with all truffles. That's what I'm trying to do now to kind of like um, get people back, and the people our regulars will want something new as well. Then we have something to offer, something exciting, something for people to try out. That's what we're trying to um, uh, that's what we're trying to make now.
So
um, mm-mm.
what what's the initial comments of people that have dined in your restaurant so far? Um,
Um, it was funny because well, right now I don't really know because like I didn't have a lot of people for lunch as well. But
Tsaka wala
before
din
the
yata
second
chika-chika, no?
lockdown,
Wala
yeah,
ng chika-chika,
wala
no?
na, wala na. I mean, like there is still, but not so much. And it's also difficult to talk to someone if you're wearing a mask. So everything is muffled. So anyway, before the second lockdown, the people who would come here would be like, um, the initial comment was, it's just so nice to be out and to be eating in a restaurant where you're served properly and there's like white linen tablecloth and wine is being poured. The sense of normalcy is back. And other people naman are saying like, is it just me or did the food get better? And I feel like I don't think it really got better because we didn't do anything new. But I think because you've been eating at home for months, you don't remember as well how restaurants cook their food and how much butter I use to cook my food. I think it's really the butter that people are like, oh my God, it's so good. But like for me, it's like, yeah, it's all the butter that we haven't eaten in months that we cook our food in as well. So it's that. I think it's sense of familiarity as well as kind of like almost experiencing something so new because you haven't had it for months. So that's I think that was the reaction of people. It's those two things like um because the food, they how much they enjoy the food and how much they enjoy the fact that that they're experiencing dining out at this level again.
Okay, nice. And in terms of your location, because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people say the restaurants who are in the malls are the ones who would survive. If you're outside the
Yeah,
malls,
yeah,
it's hard to
yeah.
negotiate with the landlord and
Mm-hmm.
all that problem. What
Mm-hmm.
was your experience with Metronome?
We are lucky that our landlord is very helpful and very understanding. We're very lucky with that. Um, it's also hard because we're such a different restaurant from restaurants that you find in malls. So it's hard to kind of just compare like apples to apples because it's completely different as well. So we're trying to survive. We will do everything we can to survive. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if really there's a comparison. If I can compare, because it's a different consumer behavior as well.
Correct.
People who go to the mall have a different attitude towards dining than when they come here to eat here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure. Um, I really don't know how how to compare.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
right now, for us, it's really just keeping our feet in the ground and keeping our head down and just working through this and supporting each other, supporting other restaurants and other like restaurateurs as well. Right now, I think I've spoken to some of people who are also restaurant owners or chefs, and we're just kind of like supporting each other. We're ordering each other's food. We're hyping each other up, and thinking about um, how we can help each other. I guess
Mm-hmm.
like for me, it's like also using making sure that I order. I can help farmers with moving their produce. If I can, I would, being open to those things as well. And also kind of supporting our suppliers, at this
Okay.
point. Yeah.
Uh, all right. Thank
Mhm.
you. Maybe before we close this, can we have a
Mhm.
photo lang? Can we have a
Okay.
photo? Just look at the lens. Okay.
Okay.
One, two. One more. Ikaw
Okay.
lang. Okay. One, two. All right. Um,
Okay.
Thank you. So, wait, I'll pull up some comments also from
Mhm.
Babo Munoz
Mhm.
Joseph.
Mhm.
Thank you for watching. And Momon
Mhm.
Portich.
Yeah.
More power,
Good
metronome
friend
po.
of mine. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mm.
yeah, so I know you're going to prepare for dinner service, so we'll close
Yes.
this
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
this discussion.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
your message na lang to the can you speak to the industry and to the dining consumers in Manila on how they should look at metronome or the restaurant
Mm.
industry as a whole?
Okay. Well, um, for the people in the industry, I mean, we're in this together. I mean, just hang in there. Uh, there's really nothing else we can do at this point but really hang in there and do everything we can to kind of get ourselves through this. Um, for the dining public, I I just want you to know that for me in Metronome, we've done everything that we can to make sure that your dining experience is safe. To make sure as well that our staff who will take care of your dining experience are safe. Um, we'll try to make things as normal as possible with all the safety protocols in place, and I assure you that the food will be great as it was before, and there will be new exciting things that I will be making as well. So if you feel like leaving your homes and venturing out to have a great dining experience, please think of us. We're always going to be here. We're open from Wednesdays until Saturdays, lunch and dinner. Two different menus as well. And also check out Lazy Off by Metronome if you don't want to come out. Yeah.
So how do they order? Instagram ba or website? What's the best?
Well, we have an Instagram account for Lazy F by Metronome, and they can order through our number as well. Usually, a lot of our customers just order through our contact number in the sorry, Instagram and Facebook and everything.
Do you
Yeah,
accept reservations already
yeah,
through to do December, or how long is the
yeah,
ano?
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, we accept reservations. I mean, we've started to accept reservations already. Because we assume that there's not going to be another
Wala
lockdown.
na. Wala na sigurong
Yeah,
lockdown.
we're assuming that, but like that's why if they want to book for December, why not? But it also depends on what's going to happen. So we're taking it a month at a time, I think. You know, but if there are if there are people who want to book in December, in November, we're still open for that.
Do you so down payment yan, no? Or paano bang what's the
No,
policy of the
no.
restaurant? Wala na.
Nothing. You can book, and we will actually confirm with you at least a day or 2 days in advance, if I'm not mistaken. We will confirm seats with you. I mean, that's all we can do because over here there's no penalty for cancellation. We don't do that here. It's
That's
sad
fun.
that there's not no penalty for that. So what happens with us is,
Oo nga.
if somebody books a table for six, and so let's say we have more bookings for that day, and then what we do now is our staff on duty depends on the reservations that we have. So if a group of 6 or 10 who was reserved for that day will um, cancel on that day, there's nothing we can do. We're gonna take the losses. So
Yeah.
I guess that's also one thing that I would actually ask of the dining public, so that if they do reserve, if they can, honor the reservation, and if they feel like they're not gonna go, then maybe they can cancel in advance. Of course, I can't also blame people if there's something that happens. It's a chance that you take. It's in the business that you're in as well.
Okay. And
Yeah.
maybe last question before we close
Mm-hmm.
this. Kamusta naman?
Mm-hmm.
How's Manila for you personally? I guess, do you like being here versus being in other countries operating a restaurant?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting because I'm finally doing something that's mine, my food, my menu, my the restaurant, and even the look of the restaurant. It's something that I can identify with. That's one. Um, Also because I think I've been away for a long time, and I think being home and doing something uh, that's world class, so to speak, in Manila, and being accepted, and being welcomed in Manila is such an honor for me as well. So I actually enjoy cooking for our dining public. It's to give people another choice, another. I mean, diversity in the local dining scene is always great for everyone. So I feel like I'm enjoying that part, and I also enjoy the fact that I get to teach young cooks to discipline in the kitchen, and techniques and all that. That kind of mentorship, I also like doing that. So that's why I'm enjoying my time here and doing what I do in the comfort of being home in Manila.
Right. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. And with that, That's a good ending to our
Yeah.
discussion. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. More
Thank
power
you. Thank you.
to
Thank you.
Metronome.
Thank you.
And just let us know. We'll always support you guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
And
Thanks.
all right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Hope
Chef.
to see you again here.
Yes,
Bye.
yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.